The best people that, build solutions, lead, create the best business are people that know how to find problems and are intentional about solving it. And when they solve it, they know how to turn it to money. Because if you can find a good enough problem, a problem that people are really struggling with, people are ready to pay thousands and thousands to solve it for them, so long as you find a problem that really hurts. And the 10 million naira that you're offering me, if I work hard enough, this is something that I can make in 2 months. So sometimes we limit ourselves by thinking it's a straight-cut path. If you have this passion, this is how you must use it, or else you are neglecting your passion. But that's not true. I remember that when I was thinking in university and I was planning my life, I already had the plan that, okay, when I finish university, I will go into music. Am I in music ministry now? No. If you want to, be successful in life, you don't focus on passion. You focus on problems. What is that problem that you see, in your environment and it irks you?
If passion is actually the key to the bag, why are so many passionate people out there still broke and confused? I want you to help us make it make sense.
It's not necessarily a one-size-fits-all method or procedure for everyone. Some people would, pursue purpose in place of passion and they would succeed, and some would need to focus on their passions to succeed. But why do I say that? Now, we often separate both and say, okay, here's passion, here's purpose. And let's even define it. Passion is something, you just naturally like, or you're just naturally invested in, you're naturally excited about. While purpose is basically a call, something you are led to do, something you feel you are meant to do in life, right? And often it seems as if one exists without the other. But the truth is that people who have turned out to be really successful have found a way to merge both. So often we feel like passions have to be, talents like music, like singing, like drawing, and purpose has to be maybe something like a responsibility, or you're called to be a pastor, or you are meant to be a doctor. But it's also important to note that your passions are not necessarily limited to talent, because if we really take time to look deep into ourselves, we know that some of the things we really love doing is not necessarily the action, but there's an inner drive behind that action that actually makes that thing a passion. For example, if I love art, it might be the feeling of, doing something with my hands, seeing the colors come together, being able to replicate, what I see in real life onto paper, onto a frame, just being able to translate my vision to reality in physical form. So that might be the main reason why I love, if I say I love art, why I love doing artworks and all of that. So if you can take that thing you actually love about art, which is being able to turn your visions to reality in physical form, and then apply it to a path that can actually give you money, that it can sustain over a period of time, that is not something on guess that hopefully somebody buys my artwork and I make it big, but it's something that you can follow pattern by pattern. That's where you can merge passion with purpose. So I'll share a personal story. I'm someone I'm a multi-potentialite. I would call myself that. I can draw, I can sing, I can write. I used to do a lot of fashion design when I was younger. So it's like there were a lot of interests. I remember a time where I listed all the skills and the talents and everything I could do. And I was like, Lucas, which one are you going to focus on? Because I wanted to go in everything. But eventually, here I am, I'm a brand strategist, right? And that does not relate to drawing, that does not relate to singing, that does not relate to any of the things I called passions when I was younger. But that doesn't mean that I've neglected this aspect. But one thing that is important for us to understand is that, so some of the things we call skills or we call talents can actually be drawn back to a deeper ability. For example, people that are really good at maybe fashion design or art, they usually have a deeper ability to know of creativity, being able to put lines together, put colors together and create something. Now, while putting out artworks might not be something, monetizable immediately, because Nigeria does not really appreciate art. Of course, we like it. We can share the video, would comment on it. But if they tell us to spend 100,000 naira to buy a piece of artwork, it's not like I just take a picture of and print, because of course, we appreciate the art, but we don't value it enough. Someone who is passionate about art now, if that's passion or that skill, that talent they have points to a deeper ability. Being able to, connect things with your mind, be able to put a vision to physical form, the right colors, the right lines. And that's something that worked for me. I won't say I'm the best artist or the best painter or anything, but I had that skill of being able to create, average or good artworks. And when I put that skill more into things like, graphic design, things like, when you're doing branding and you are comparing them, how does this look? Even in fashion, the way I think up ideas for my dressing and all of that, I have turned that passion into something that can eventually give me money. So sometimes we limit ourselves by thinking it's a straight cut path. If you have this passion, this is how you must use it, or else you are neglecting your passion. But that's not true. There's a deeper ability beneath that talent, that if you take that ability and apply it in another field, maybe in business or in something that would give you sustainable income, it will still work for you, and your passion is still being put to use. So I would say this once more, it's not a one-size-fits-all path. Some people would go deep into music and they succeed. Some people will try music and they will eventually have to abandon it for something else. And at the end of the day, it's not also mutually exclusive. They can work together. You can merge your passion with purpose and still succeed.
If you're actually walking on the street and a fresher or a final year student actually walked up to you and told you, "Hey, Dorcas, I beg, I no get passion. I just dey exist in this school." What is the problem you actually tell them to focus on to actually discover their passion?
All right. So I would actually say this. I think passion is overrated. I think the idea of finding your passion is overrated. Because, and this is something that I also learned from someone I see that I learn from a lot. So in terms of, sometimes it's just an excuse to stall finding my passion. I want to find my passion. Sincerely, if you want to, be successful in life, you don't focus on passion. You focus on problems. What is that problem that you see, in your environment and it irks you? Now, your question is, what problem would I say to them that they could focus on solving to find their passion? I wouldn't recommend any problem to them, because if you don't see that thing as a problem, there's no way you'll be committed to solving it. There's something that you might see as a problem in your environment and you tell me and I'm like, it is how it is, But if you have seen something as a problem, so long as it begins to bother you, it means that there is a call for you to either do something about it or find someone who can. The best people that, build solutions, lead, create the best business are people that know how to find problems and are intentional about solving it. And when they solve it, they know how to turn it to money. Because if you can find a good enough problem, a problem that people are really struggling with, people are ready to pay thousands and thousands to solve it for them, so long as you find a problem that really hurts, So I would say you want to be successful, leave passion one side. Finding your passion is not the answer, because you can be passionate, but your passion will not bring any results. Because if your passion cannot be tied to a problem, it won't convert. I make it that way. It won't convert. So the priority is to find a problem and find a way to solve it. Of course, this is gradual. You don't just wake up one day and say you want to solve the whole of climate change in Nigeria. That's a long-term goal. But you can start it. Oh, I've noticed there's a lot of waste, or there's improper waste, disposal in my community, in this small town I'm living in. How can I solve this? And maybe it's something people have been complaining about. Everybody is already tired of everywhere looking dirty. So now there's a problem. As long as the problem matters to the people that are facing it, if you can bring a solution to it, you get people that are willing to pay you to solve it. So it's important that you look into yourself, be very self-aware, and find out, okay, in this field or in this field or in this field, what are problems that I've seen that I want to solve? Of course, you can bring your interests and problems together to actually find the right path. So I don't believe there's anybody without passions. It's either they have maybe downplayed their passions. They don't feel it's worth calling a passion or worth calling an interest. Of course, you might not be really passionate about something or, talented in something, but there are interests that you have. You're interested in things. Maybe when you see people, fiddling with a laptop, you're intrigued. Okay, what are these people doing with this laptop? What are they building? When you hear people talking about tech or talking about games, you have interests. So within those interests that you have, find a problem that really irks you, that whenever you see it, you know that you can spend days trying to solve it. And then find people who have this problem so much and are willing to pay you to solve it. Or you could go from the audience to problem approach. So you have an interest, and within those interests, there are people that are tied to those interests. For example, let's say you are really interested in fashion design. There are people that are also passionate about fashion design, like you are interested in it, right? So those people that are really interested in fashion design too, what problems do they have in line with fashion design? So you're already interested in it. Now there are people also interested in it, but those people have problems. They have problems. Now, which one can you solve? Pick the most painful one that you can solve. Then ask them to pay for the solution. That's just how to make money and grow your success. Yeah. So that's my answer.
Shut down. One of the key takeaways I just got from this last section is passion is overrated to a certain degree. There are a lot of things that I believe we can actually, build whilst we, discover our purpose and work in alignment with our passion. And one of the things I also got from this section is that passion and purpose are interwoven into each other. People that we celebrate today are people that actually turned their passion to their purpose. Yes, exactly. Because you need to be overly obsessed about what you do to be able to be successful, I believe, in the world stage, about in regards to that industry. Now, we call this particular section the final year clearance. When you're done with school, before you graduate, you do your clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've enjoyed the lecture. Now, for you to graduate from, I believe, this episode, we need to sign your form. Now, we have 5 questions that we want to ask you. These are Nigerian student related kind of questions, just to tap into your mind, if you don't mind. The first question that we have for you is, Dorcas, if you see an alert of 10 million naira right now, but the condition is that you must go back, rewrite JAMB, and start 100 level at a Nigerian public university, will you collect the 10 million naira or you go leave her?
It.
Power. You will leave it.
Yes.
You've made it in life.
What people don't know is that your greatest asset is your time. You can't get back lost time. I've already gone through university. I enjoyed my experience. I studied the course of my dreams. I got a good result and all of that. Why do I need to go back to university again? And the 10 million naira that you're offering me, if I work hard enough, this is something that I can make in 2 months or less. So long as I am committed. With this path I'm already on, money should not be a problem for me as long as I ruthlessly implement what I know and I'm committed to my journey. So let's say I collect that 10 million naira and I go back to university. I'm expected to write JAMB. That's already a year. I write it. Then I'll wait for admission. Then I'll enter 100 level and I'll be expected to spend 4 to 5 years. Do I have that much time when I could implement that time into something more productive? Make times 10 and times 100 of that money they're offering me. So to me, it's not worth it. Sincerely.
What if we multiply the number to 100 million?
It's still not worth it. My time is worth more than that. Sincerely, I don't see
Power.
the point.
I want to be like you. I want to be like you when I grow up. All right. The next question we have for you is that now, that is what we call the savior of Nigerian students when it comes to food. Now, for the sake of the Nigerian students who love food, there are three kinds of food that are our saviors. Now, the first one is A and B, akara and bread. And we have Indomie and egg. And we now have the king of the kings, please, Gary and Granuts. So for you, which one was your savior whilst you were in school?
Savior in school, I think akara and bread was it. I ate it a lot. In fact, I ate it a lot.
Shut down. A and B. All right.
Yes.
So the next question we have is, we want you to think about this before you answer. Now, be honest. Between quote-unquote breakfast, you know what I mean by breakfast, the Nigerian kind of breakfast, and carryover.
Okay.
Which one do you believe burn the most?
I
Which one
think
they burn
breakfast.
more? Breakfast they burn. All
For a
right. I
carryover,
wanted
if
to say
it's
this like you
one
speak from experience.
No, I'm not speaking from experience. First of all, for someone who, if it's one carryover for somebody, I never had carryovers in my school, so I'm not speaking from experience. But for someone that maybe it's one carryover, they can always, make it up the next year somehow. But breakfast, if you're built, for a long time with someone, you have already set your side, I'm not looking for anybody again in my life. This is the person I'm committed to, the person I'm going to marry. Then some people kill, so it's more painful than carryover for some people.
Yeah. And now the last question that we have is, now, we all have that one particular lecturer that actually showed us Shege when we were in school. And I believe you do have one, if not even multiple. And if you could actually send one message to your, is there a word like wickedest lecturer, or let me use the word, your most worst lecturer, waiting you go tell her?
So I would say that actually all my lecturers were kind. Maybe to me, I'm someone that I'm very easygoing. I'm very easy to work with. I'm very easy to flow. So of course, there are people that these lecturers had issues with. And if you had to ask them this question, they'll have a lot to say. But for me, all my lecturers were really kind to me. I flew with all my lecturers. But there was one lecturer who, he gave me a B more than once. And during that semester, I was actually ill. So I'd gone home for a while, like for months, couple of months. So I missed a lot of lectures. I missed a lot of information. So when I came back, I think the day after I came back or some days after I came back, he gave me a test. He gave us a test. And I told him that, sir, I don't have notes. Like, I've not been in class. Why would I have to write this test with red? Because I was not there when this was taught. I just came to school. I'm still recovering. Why am I expected to write it? And he still said we should write it. So I wrote it, but of course I wrote nonsense. So when I eventually saw my result for that course, I had a B in that course. And I think all his courses, I think he taught us 2 courses that semester. I had B in all of them. So in 2 of them or so. So I was not happy. Like, this lecturer, can't you just allow me to get a perfect CGPA this semester, please? So that was one thing that really, really marred my experience with him during that period. But on a general level, all my lecturers were really like fathers and mothers to me. So I don't have anyone who I want to send a message to.
Send a message to that particular lecturer that didn't want you to get an A.
I will call his name, of course. So, dear sir, I still remember. Okay, how are you doing? Hope your academic research, your conferences, and your travels have been beautiful. I hope we're still going to get that long car that you've always wanted to get. Then, so I just want to say that I still remember when you withheld my A from me, which could have given me a better CGPA that semester. But I've forgiven you because we're Christians. We don't hold on to malice and unforgiveness. So I wish you the best of luck and good success. My regards to my siblings. Thank you very much for all your support and your kind teaching. Yours faithfully, Dorcas Nwaeke.
Thank you so much, Dorcas Nwaeke, for this section. Thank you so much. That's been a wonderful experience, reliving memories and actually tapping into your mind to learn and be like you whilst we grow. On behalf of the Nigerian students and we are honestly grateful for everything you do. I actually follow your journey on LinkedIn and I'm like, madam, you're doing a lot. I want to be like you when I grow up. All right. So on this note, we want to say
Thank you very
we are grateful. Keep soaring, keep winning. This is the Nigerian Student Podcast.